Museigen is Japanese for limitless. And we believe basically that's what we all are. We are all limitless once we set our minds to it. So our advocacy has always been to help grow the community through learning and education.
For me, anything that's happening in crypto, since it's pretty new, I'm taking it lahat siya maganda. Kasi wala namang nahinog na isang technology, investment, or any endeavor na walang pain point.
You can't get away from Bitcoin anymore. Because you don't have an excuse. I mean, it's on the stock exchange now. I mean, like, if you still don't want to have at least 1% of your portfolio in crypto, like, you're just being lazy now.
But we don't need to actually focus on what we lack, right? We need to focus on what we can do to fulfill that lack.
Great setting and a conference that is one of its kind, you know?
I think the conference really brings together a lot of the leading players in Southeast Asia.
Over 100 CEOs and founders. The most influential VCs in Web3. All gathering, all converging.
Welcome again to one and all. Glad you could join us for a very interesting topic. Before anything else though, you saw flashed on the screen a copy of the Blockchain Navigator's Handbook. We're going to be giving away one copy later to one lucky viewer. But things that need to be done, you need to number one, follow Museigen's FB page. You like and share the video and you watch until the end of the session. So again, you're supposed to follow Museigen's FB page. You like and share the video and you watch until the end of the session. So first and foremost, I'd like to welcome my co-host, James Genove, the Resistance Trader.
The world you're into. Yan, mabuhay. Welcome to the Museigen.io page, and we're here for our weekly broadcast. Yan. And we're glad to be joined by 249 watchers right now. Hi, hello, mabuhay to everyone.
So anyway, I think people saw the poster, so they're interested to know more about NFTs. Because I'm sure, diba, when we say NFT, probably the first thing that comes to mind is Axie Infinity and things like that. But our guest tonight is going to be discussing things about NFT so that people can realize there's more to NFT than just pixelated art, Axie Infinity, and things like that. So let me introduce briefly our special guest for tonight. So Paul Hui works is the co-founder of Moongate, which is a venture-backed end-to-end solution for NFT ticketing and memberships. Now, prior to joining Moongate, his background is also investment banking, where he spent quite a bit of time with HSBC, working with the industrial and Hong Kong conglomerates team on several transactions spanning mergers and acquisitions, IPOs, and fundraising. He later on joined Vector Ventures, where he focused on early stage investments related to Web3 technology. He holds a BBA degree in international business and global management from the University of Hong Kong and completed an academic exchange at the Marshall Business School. So clearly, well-rounded background, and we're eager to learn from him. Let's bring on board Peter.
Hi, nice to meet you all. Can you guys hear me okay?
Loud and clear, Peter.
Hi,
Great. Good.
Peter.
Hi.
How are you?
Thanks. Good. Thanks for the warm intro, and my pleasure to be here sharing, the stage with you guys.
Yep.
Well, so let's start the ball rolling, Peter, since we've got a lot of people interested to know more about NFTs. Now, since the basically the key product right now of Moongate is a ticketing platform, perhaps let's start by telling the listeners what advantages do NFTs offer in terms of being used for tickets.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I think as you mentioned, when people talk about NFTs, the first thing that they would come into mind maybe as Infinity, kind of more on the GameFi kind of applications. There could be like PFP, more on like art or like profile pictures. So for us right now, we actually focus more on kind of other kind of applications for NFTs, specifically for this kind of technology, and specifically more on like ticketing, memberships, or a lot of the in real life kind of use cases as well. So specifically, actually, why NFT for tickets, right? I would say mainly I would just kind of distill down to a few key points. One, I would say the most basic or easiest to understand is actually more on the to authenticate the tickets really easily using blockchains. So what it means is that I think usually or previously, one of the key pain points right now is that there are a lot of like fake tickets in the market, and also it's really hard to kind of buy and sell tickets, and you often have the risk to to actually see if that ticket is real or not. So even I think for my co-founder and myself personally, we have bought fake tickets when we try to go to kind of really hot music concerts, and also that's kind of one of the reasons why we have this kind of idea. So basically using blockchain because everything is kind of locked on the chain, and also because of how blockchain works, it's very easy for people to kind of trade kind of asset on chain. So using NFTs is really good for eradicating kind of fake tickets and also facilitating a lot of the trading on that perspective. But I would say this is only just one of the basic kind of application. But then I would say like there's many two more things that we do. Like first, having NFTs as the tickets actually creating a more engaging experience and also help brands to really connect with their fans. So I think traditionally, it's pretty boring, for a ticketing journey. You just buy the ticket and you go to the event and that's it. But right now, because it is a form of like a media, like a form of images, it can be even like a video on chain, owned by the users. There could be way more things that can be done by these kind of brands, and event organizers going forward. So right now, from what we've seen, these images could be at least some sort of asset around the event, or even for artists, it could be like a unique artwork for their fans. And even later on after the event, they can engage with these by changing up or upgrading the images or whatnot, or even becoming kind of like a unique scene at the event, or kind of the performance. I think these are all kind of interesting applications that we've seen that previously it is quite hard for a traditional way to do, but then blockchain NFTs empower this. And I would say lastly, as one of more common application is even more extending the customer journey, so really engaging the user or fans not only before and during the event but also after the event. So you can think about it as like right now, because of your ownership of these tickets or your NFTs, right now you'll be eligible for various types of perks, content, or even kind of talking with people or community building with similar kind of interests or similar ownership of the NFTs. So this actually helps kind of the brands, artists, event organizers to build up their community, to engage with their fans in the longer run, and not just lie the experience with just kind of one event. It could be across all different events, and create a really strong community. So I think that's also kind of one of a common theme that kind of blockchain or NFTs empower, which I think we have seen some of the more pioneer kind of event organizers, using NFT as tickets through us to achieve these goals as well.
Thank you for that, Peter. And I do agree with you, because in terms of what you're doing with your platform, it's sort of like coming up with a loyalty program in a digital format.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. That's why, when we, our product, as you do the introduction earlier on, is called NFT ticketing and membership platform. We see that, ticketing in some sense with blockchain, with NFTs, is basically kind of like a loyalty program, for kind of event organizers to engage with their fans, engage with their attendees, to build up the loyalty, to build up the engagement, and ultimately also build up a community and find their kind of core fans and increase the gamification experience across in real life events as well.
Okay, thank you for your explanation, Peter. But while we are discussing the benefits of it, and of course, me and Fermin, and probably some of our viewers would know and understand all of this stuff that's related to the gamification, blockchain, the advantages of the technology. While on it, and while we know that it's very very advantageous, we know also for a fact that since this is a new technology, we need to also probably discuss what do you think would be the disadvantages of using NFT for tickets, especially your target market would be, I believe, corporate events or corporations, or not individuals, not retail, but most of the time B2B, since the B2B will be the one doing this, ticketed events, and will be using your platform. So, what do you think would be the disadvantages of using NFT for tickets?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. I think for us, it's more kind of like a B2B to C product. So basically, as you mentioned, we have a lot of the, maybe music festival organizers, promoters, kind of corporate event organizers, conference organizers. And I would say, and one of the more common disadvantage of using NFTs as the tickets is kind of the adoption rate or kind of the user experience. Like for instance, as I think one of the common theme right now is, when people heard, oh, this ticket is going to be NFTs. I think one of the more common questions that people pop up is, hey, do I need a wallet to buy the tickets? Is that going to be very complicated to get the tickets? I mean, like, I just want to go to the event, right? I don't want to kind of go through all the hassle, create an event, remember kind of the seed phrase or whatnot to kind of just get a ticket to go to an event. So I think that's, especially I think for maybe a couple of years back, I think, obviously NFT ticketing is not a new idea. I think, back in 2017, 18, there are already kind of startups or projects trying to do this similar kind of product. But I think back then, right, it's really hard for general public to actually adopt this because I think even in 2017, 18, people would still kind of need to create a wallet to get an NFT. People, it's really hard to pay with crypto payment because the payment gateway is not as smooth as right now. And that even the entire infrastructure, right, it's going to be costing a lot to do the transaction. It's going to be very slow as well using L1 Ethereum chain back then. So I think, when the infrastructure was not ready yet, I think there are a lot of disadvantages using NFTs for tickets because, the user experience is not there. It's just kind of causing a lot of trouble for users. But I would say one of the key things, at least right now, and also for us, what we have been trying to push and for the past 1.5 years, is that we are introducing a really seamless experience for users. I think for us, we are kind of leveraging the latest infrastructure in the market. So, when people try to use NFTs as tickets for us on our platform, they don't really have to create a wallet at all. They can use email to log in. And behind the scene, we create a wallet for them already. People can pay with credit card and also obviously crypto payment without any kind of friction as well. All the transactions is going to be instant, within, because we are kind of leveraging also some of the layer 2 chains, is going to be like an instant transactions. There wouldn't be any delay on that front or whatnot. So I would say because of the infrastructure now and also how we design our product, it's so seamless that for users right now, basically it's very similar to how they buy tickets on a normal platform. So we try to kind of eliminate or eradicate kind of some of the disadvantages of using NFTs for tickets in the previous era, and now kind of using our product, using the infrastructure, and using our kind of innovation on the product to bridge the gap. And also that's why I think right now maybe 70% of our users are actually Web2 users. Like they have not, they don't have any knowledge about blockchain or whatnot. They use our product, they buy the tickets. So I would say I would consider us doing a pretty good job to try to eliminate the disadvantages as much as possible right now.
And I think that's a very good indicator, because if you've got people using it who actually are not even aware, for example, that it might be on the blockchain, that's when you're doing a good job. And I'll use the same word you used, seamless. And I think definitely that's on the right track, because the moment it becomes seamless for the user, and eventually as the technologies start moving towards what you're doing, I believe the rest will follow. Now, I do agree that ticketing is a very big market. Now, aside from ticketing, are there any other real world activations that Moongate's already working on?
Yeah, of course, 100%. Thanks for the question. I think obviously ticketing, I think we are probably one of the top player in the market globally right now. So naturally, we also kind of expand to different type of activations, and for us, it's going to be focusing a lot on in real life experience. So for instance, we have worked with like some of the corporate brands in Asia for the NFT membership program. So something very similar to maybe what Nike and Adidas are doing in the US, really using NFT as an engagement and loyalty program tool to engage with their kind of fans or kind of their consumers. And for us right now, that's also something that we have done. Apart from that, we also do a lot of like token gating kind of support or solutions, also related to in real life experience. Because I think right now maybe a lot of the even crypto projects or a lot of the corporates, they have the NFT collections and they want to kind of offer some of the in real life utilities for their users. So for instance, I think back early this year in Hong Kong for the sandbox, we work with them. They want to offer their landowners some of the in real life events exclusive access. So they would kind of leverage our platform as well, and we would kind of identify who are these kind of landowners and NFT owners, and we kind of distribute the benefits to them accordingly. So that's something that we have done before. I think lastly also we are kind of also engaging on some of the more gamification experience in real life. For instance, after you go to the event, you would get a digital collectibles that would have more kind of like perks or benefits later on, provided by the event organizers, or even kind of like on-site scavenger hunt, interacting with the blockchain. So these are also something additionally apart from the ticketing piece that we are working on in order to kind of, I guess, going around a same theme, more on a real adoption for NFTs, very easy for users to use. At the same time, kind of user have the ownership of the asset. They feel engaging, and also overall just to build a stronger relationship between kind of the brands, the users, and the community as well.
Okay. Yep. Thank you very much for that very very elaborate answer, Peter. And while we are discussing, I like the way that you mentioned a while ago that you actually try to address users' problem with their learning curve, meaning they don't really need to have that deep or huge learning curve on understanding blockchain, crypto, Web3, but then again they can already use the platform. It's like you are addressing that pain point and still addressing the point that this is an NFT ticket that you are working on. Now, to that tune, I would like to ask the fourth question. But before that, I just would like to remind all of our viewers, since we have a lot of viewers right now, to please stay until the end of the show, because after the end of the show, or before we end the show rather, before we end the show, we'll be asking you a question and we'll be giving away a freebie for you. This book called The Blockchain Navigator's Handbook, of course, by yours truly. We'll be giving out one copy of that today after the broadcast. So please stay tuned up to the end of the broadcast or before the broadcast ends. And watch out for the question so that you'll know how to win the book. Now, going back to the discussion, Peter, again, as we mentioned, as we discussed earlier, the number 4 question: how do you think will the NFT ticketing transform the current Web 2 and promote Web 3 for mass adoption?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question. I think for us right now, one of the key, I guess, a common theme in the crypto space or Web3 space right now is, the mass adoption. Like, what are the key ways for more people outside of the crypto space to kind of at least learn about blockchain, interested about it, and at least kind of use it right now? I think right now, obviously, I think GameFi is a really good vertical to push for mass adoption, because a lot of people will just come in and play the games. And I think at the same time, for consumer applications, this is also something kind of be one of the key driver for mass adoption. And I would say, like, for consumer applications, I think things like us, like ticketing platform, membership platform, or even some of it like e-commerce or community kind of platform or whatnot. I think these would be one of the key driver, at least in the coming cycle, to kind of drive the adoption for general public. So I think for us, we have already seen kind of early, I guess, success or traction on how this is going to be performing, because we are working with a lot of kind of also traditional Web2 conferences or music festivals, and we can see that we integrate the NFT ticketing, if not maybe some of the digital collectible experience into the entire kind of conference. And we can see that a lot of the attendees, a lot of their kind of consumers, their users, they don't have anything about they don't have any knowledge about blockchain, but they are already kind of adopting this very seamlessly and then using us as well. I think naturally because we have opened up a wallet for them, even behind the scene without they know about it. And then I think some of it later on, they might want to send their collectibles or take us to their friends. Some of them might just want to kind of showcase that to their community or whatnot. It kind of naturally brings them to learn about blockchain. They at least know, hey, what this wallet is about or whatnot. I think that's going to be a good starting point for them to maybe later on using the same wallet to do, I don't know, GameFi experience, doing some DeFi stuff, or even using just the wallets to do more engagement across different platform in the future. So yeah, I would say definitely I consider us as one of the key driver on the consumer application side of things to really promote it, mass adoption for Web3.
Thanks for that, Peter. And I think you are painting a very exciting picture of what the future holds, especially with what the technology can offer. But I think one of the things that James mentioned earlier, and so did you, is at the end of the day, it still is a fairly new technology. And so, what do you think, or what do you see as the barriers to adoption at the moment?
Yeah, I think mainly there are kind of like two or three main things right now in the market for adoption. I think one of the more common theme right now is regulations. I would say so. I was in U.S. and Europe for some of the conferences as well. I would say one of the common theme in I guess the Western countries right now is on regulations, especially in the U.S. Because as we all might know, see on the news, a lot of the regulations around whether kind of crypto is a securities, all of the projects they are kind of regulated by kind of SEC as well. So I would say to push further adoption, if the regulations is actually going against the industry, it would discourage a lot of people to join the industry and build meaningful product. And even for meaningful product that has built in the market, like maybe Uniswap, right? I think they are also kind of affected by the regulations per se in the recent news as well. So I think these are going to be one of the major probably barrier. And I think even for exchanges, whether people can trade very easily. I think recently in Hong Kong, they also kind of banned a few exchanges for getting the license as well. So I think adoption because of the regulations, that could be one red flag. But I mean, for me, I'm pretty optimistic on the regulations though. I think later on down the road, that there will be a proper regulations that are actually favorable for the industry to grow, to reduce some of the bad apples in the market, so that just getting this industry more mature as well. I think second of all probably is definitely on kind of the education piece, like how to really educate or kind of the general public on what blockchain is about. Sometimes there are a lot of jargons in the space that just kind of confuse people or whatnot. So I think a platform like this or kind of podcast like this is a really great channel to really educate general public on some of the basic concepts, or at least kind of know what's going on in the space. I think the more education or knowledge level around general public, I think the adoption is going to be higher as well. I think lastly, probably on kind of the technology side of things, just more seamless product kind of rolling out to the market. I think previously, one of the common issue for all of the products right in the market is it's just way too complicated to use, right? Not maybe a subset of the people like me, I would spend a lot of time to figure out how to use a wallet back then, and also try to understand what it's about. But I guess not a lot of tech people are kind of that tech savvy, right? So I think definitely having more products and more seamless products, I think that's what we are trying to build here, is kind of putting the entire blockchain concept behind the scene and just focusing more on solving the problems. I would say that's also helped to kind of push the adoption going forward.
Wow, thank you for that. Truly insightful. And specifically on the point of regulation, I do agree with you, especially because one of the things we see is that each country has a different take on what sort of regulation they should put. So yes, I agree, and I do agree also that you want to strike a balance between innovation and regulation. You don't want to have no regulation, but you also don't want to have too much regulation to the extent that it stifles innovation.
Yep, and
Yes.
actually, yeah, I think Peter made mention earlier that of course some people do not have the luxury of learning all of this stuff, right? Like, they have a hard time learning all of this stuff. And I think that's what the gap that Peter and his team in Moongate is trying to bridge by introducing this platform with lesser learning curve for users who are used to doing Web 2 things, Web 1 things, or whatnot. Right, Peter?
Yes, absolutely. Um, I think right now the key things needed for more people to learn about blockchain, more adoption in general is going to be twofold. One is the education piece. Something very similar to the podcast like this, or a lot of the content in the market, really introducing the fundamental concepts and also what the potentials and what are the things happening, the latest news or whatnot, or even the regulations trend or whatnot to the general public. I think that's definitely going to help people to drive the adoption. And I think that's the education piece, and then there would be the more on the usage piece. Like after people learn about it, then there should be like very easy applications for them to try it out. They don't have to hop over kind of too many steps before they can use a DeFi product. But then there would be a lot of like consumer products or a lot of daily problems that they want to use. Then they can kind of use blockchain applications to leverage it. So I guess maybe something like us, like a ticketing product or like a gaming product that they just want to play the game and they realize that it's actually also kind of blockchain related, or I don't know, maybe there's some digital art, and then they can kind of very easily to buy it. So I would say like these definitely, tying these two up together, I think there definitely going to be more people to adopt it in the future.
Yep. Now, having said that, while you said kind of a lot of things already, I just wanted to learn more. Now, for this last question, maybe for this session, what do you think is we needed more for mainstream adoption? You made mention about the education and some easier UI, or what you call it, interface. But what else? What do you think? What else do you think we needed for more mainstream adoption?
I think I would, to adding on top of what I mentioned lastly, I would say kind of echoing earlier point is on probably the macro environment push. So what it means is probably on also, I think going back to the regulation piece. Like I think, at the end of the day, like, I think with a better or kind of stronger kind of regulations that are pro development of the market, there would be attracting more talent to join the space, and also at the same time, there would be less, I guess, bad apples or so-called like scam in the space, and then there would be like more real adoption, real utilities that are pushing forward, and I think that would be good in general as well. I think lastly, I think on top of that is definitely more people joining the space to build and also to educate people. I think right now I would say it's still super early in terms of the adoption for blockchain. So I think attracting more people and talent to join the space to build a product, to educate the people and creating content. I think these would definitely helps to amplify the messages to more people and to drive the adoption going forward.
Okay. So yeah, we do agree with that one. Thank you, Peter, for that very insightful discussion. Now, while we don't have some questions anymore, we would like to check in the comment section if there are any questions from our audience. But before that, while we are browsing it, I would like to give the shout out to Mr. Al Erickson Yap, of course, who Mr. Al Erickson Yap is with us this broadcast. He's the CEO, the founder, the co-founder of Isaw Shop, right? Isaw Shop, one of the sponsors, one of the partners rather of Museigen.io for this show and for most of the programs of Museigen. Shout out to you, bro. And by the way, just worth noting also sa lahat ng viewers natin, to all our viewers, right? So I'll speak a little bit in Tagalog, Peter, for our Filipino viewers. Just like to inform them that the book that we are giving out for the show right after the show is actually available via Isaw Shop. Yeah, proud to say that we're now available on isawshop.com. So you can actually buy the book there if you wanted to have or grab a copy. But if you wanted to grab a copy for free, stay tuned for the next questions that will be coming from our guest tonight. So yeah, that's it. Now checking it out, Fermin, I think we have no question from the audience.
So
Go
why don't we
on.
do this? Yeah, why don't we do this, Peter? Let's see what's the main takeaway of the listeners from what you talked about. Ask a question, and the first one who answers correctly will win the book of the Resistance
Yeah.
Trader.
Let's let our guest for tonight ask the question so that our audience will answer first. Of course, first come first serve to, guys. So let's see who's gonna be answering the question first properly or correctly, and then he'll be the one or she will be the one that will be choosing to be grabbing the copy of the book, the blockchain. Flash natin sa screen, sir. Blockchain Navigator's Handbook, this book. And
Paki-post lang sa screen.
there we go. The Blockchain Navigator's Handbook. You can grab a copy for free by answering the question of our guest for tonight. So
Yeah,
going
by
back
being the first to answer correctly.
correctly. Yep. So Peter, since we don't have any questions, we would
Any
like
more
to give
questions?
the floor to you.
Sure,
So,
sure.
Yeah,
I
to
guess,
ask our audience.
Yeah, no, I guess I'll just go with an easy one. Like, I guess, like, what is kind of Moongate is about, or kind of what kind of platform that we are working on.
Ayun. Let's reiterate the question, Peter, for our audience, ha? So the question, guys, anong klase ng platform? What platform is Moongate all about? Is that correct, Peter?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, going once, going twice for all of our audience tonight who wanted to grab the book for free. Ayan. Meron bang? Ayan, let's go. Sino ang makakasagot ng ating question? Going once,
While we're waiting for the
twice.
answer, just
We
a
are waiting,
reminder,
guys. Yan, wala pang sumasagot sa question. No one is still, ayun, meron na isa. Okay. I think we got it correct, right? So we have this, let's check this with Peter. Peter, we got an answer from the audience right now from Shirel Brill. Let's highlight for Peter to see. Her or his answer is NFT ticketing. Is this correct?
Yeah, pretty much, yes. Let's go. Congrats.
Okay. Thank you very much, Peter, and thank you, Cheryl, for participating in this promo right now. So we're giving away a contact from Museigen.io. One of our admin will be contacting you. So to reach you, we'll reach you out to check how to send the book, the book that you just won. Yeah, congratulations, Cheryl. Congratulations. Thank you, Peter.
right? Congratulations, Shirel. Thank you again, Peter. So remember, to all the viewers, we trust that you found this to be a very interesting and informative session. Continue to follow Museigen's page and stay tuned for our next post and announcements, because we are going to have more of this going forward. So again, Thank you, Peter, for taking time from your schedule to share your insights with our viewers. To the viewers, thank you for taking time to be with us today, and we look forward to having you at our succeeding sessions. James?
Yep. Thank you very much, guys. And we hope to see you again next time.
Okay. Bye for now.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here. Bye for
Okay.
now.
Have a good one.
Yeah.